save everyone. May the power of Kabbalah be with everyone. Hello guys and welcome back to our channel. It's a pleasure to have you with us once again. In today's video, we have something very special prepared for you. Let's explore and share some amazing tips, but before let's enter this adventure. If you are not subscribed to our channel yet, don't waste time and click on the subscribe button and activate the bell so you don't miss any of our exclusive content. And now, let's get direct to what is interesting. Let's go. Hermetic philosophy is a spiritual and philosophical tradition that dates back to antiquity and is based on texts attributed to Hermes Trismegistus, a legendary Egyptian sage. The Kybalion was first published in 1908 and is widely considered to be one of the major Hermetic texts of the modern era. Here are some details about the study of Kybalion. The Kybalion is a compilation of fundamental Hermetic principles, which include the idea of the unity of all things, the correspondence between the mental and physical planes, the notion of polarity and the concept of vibration. These principles are central to Hermetic philosophy and many esoteric and mystical traditions. The author of the Kybalion is often attributed to 3 initiates, although the identity of these authors remains a mystery. Some believe that the 3 initiates were members of a Hermetic or occult school of thought. The Kybalion describes 7 fundamental Hermetic principles, which are: 1. The principle of mentalism, everything is mind, the universe is mental. 2. The principle of correspondence, as above, so below, as below, so above. 3. The principle of vibration, nothing stands still, everything moves, everything vibrates. 4. The principle of polarity, everything is dual, everything has poles, everything has its opposite, equal and unequal are the same thing. 5. The principle of rhythm, everything ebbs and flows, everything has its tides, everything goes up and down. 6. The principle of cause and effect, every cause has its effect, every effect has its cause. 7. The gender principle, gender is in everything, everything has its masculinity and femininity. Applications. The Kybalion is often studied by those interested in philosophy, esotericism, occultism and metaphysics. Its principles are considered as a basis for understanding the functioning of the universe and the nature of reality. Influence. The book had a significant influence on many esoteric movements and self-help philosophies of the 20th century, including the New Thought movement and the positive thinking tradition. It is cited by many spiritual authors and thinkers and has been studied by those seeking a deeper understanding of the nature of existence. The Kybalion is a foundational book that explores the principles of Hermetic philosophy and has been a source of inspiration for those seeking a deeper understanding of the nature of the universe and the human mind. It is widely studied by those interested in esoteric philosophy and metaphysics. I will expand the argument related to the principle of mentalism, emphasizing the idea that 1. The principle of mentalism. Everything is mind. The universe is mental. Mind as fundamental substance. The idea that the mind is the fundamental substance of which the universe is composed suggests that, ultimately, reality is mental in its essence. This means that the mind is the matrix from which all things emerge. Rather than conceiving the universe as being composed of particles, atoms, or matter, Hermetic philosophy proposes that the mind is the primordial substance from which all things originate. Perception of reality. This principle does not necessarily imply that everything we experience is a subjective creation of individual minds, as in a dream world. Instead, it suggests that the mind plays a fundamental role in perceiving reality. The way we perceive and interpret the world around us is influenced by our mind. Our beliefs, thoughts, and emotions shape our experience of life and affect the way we see the world. Collectiveness of the universal mind. In addition to individual minds, Hermetic philosophy postulates the existence of a universal mind, which is a kind of cosmic mind that permeates and encompasses the universe. This universal mind is seen as the source of all creation and is responsible for harmony and order in the universe. It is as if the universal mind was the mind of the universe itself, and all individual minds were connected to it. Creative potential of the mind. One of the most intriguing aspects of this principle is the suggestion that the mind has significant creative potential. This implies that our thoughts and intentions have the power to influence the reality around us. Many Hermetic philosophies and esoteric traditions teach that understanding and mastery of the mind are essential to manifesting our desires and goals in life. Connections with other principles. The principle of mentalism does not exist in isolation, it is interconnected with the other Hermetic principles, such as the principle of correspondence, which states, as above, so below, as below, so above, the principle of vibration, and the principle of cause and effect. These principles together form a system of thought that explores the nature of reality holistically. The principle of mentalism, by stating that everything is mind, the universe is mental, invites people to consider the mind as a fundamental element in the construction and interpretation of reality. It highlights the profound interconnection between the mind and the universe, as well as the creative and transformative potential of the human mind. This is a central idea in Hermetic philosophy, which has influenced several spiritual and philosophical traditions throughout history. 2. The principle of correspondence. As above, so below. As below, so above. The correspondence principle is a fundamental concept that permeates several areas of knowledge and philosophies, including alchemy, astrology, quantum physics, and spirituality. This essential idea can be summarized in the phrase, as above, so below, as below, so above. This expression is a synthesis of a series of concepts and beliefs that suggest the interconnection between the macro and micro levels of the universe, as well as the reciprocal influence between them. In alchemy, for example, the principle of correspondence implies that the transformation processes that occur on the material plane reflect, in some way, spiritual and metaphysical processes. Alchemists sought to transform base metals into gold, but this quest also had a spiritual dimension, in which the alchemist sought the philosopher's stone that symbolized spiritual enlightenment and transcendence. In astrology, the idea of correspondence manifests itself in the belief that the movements of planets and stars in the sky reflect and influence events on Earth and in people's lives. Each planet and constellation has associated qualities and meanings, and these are interpreted to understand the celestial influences on life on Earth. In quantum physics, the correspondence principle is related to the idea of wave-particle duality, where subatomic particles can behave either as particles or as waves, depending on conditions. This suggests a deep relationship between the quantum level and the macroscopic level, indicating that the behavior of matter and energy on different scales is interconnected. In spiritual and philosophical terms, the principle of correspondence is often used to convey the idea that the macrocosm, the universe as a whole, and the microcosm, the individual, are intrinsically linked. What happens on a larger level also happens on a smaller level, and vice versa. This suggests an inherent harmony and balance in the universe, where the laws and patterns that govern the whole are also reflected in each part. The principle of correspondence is a complex idea that transcends disciplines and philosophies, but at its essence, it suggests that there is a deep connection and constant interaction between the different levels and dimensions of the universe, making it a fundamental concept for understanding the relationship between the macro and the micro, the physical and the spiritual, and the observable and the invisible. 3. The principle of vibration. Nothing is still. Everything moves. Everything vibrates. The principle of vibration is a fundamental notion that transcends various areas of knowledge, from physics to spirituality, and describes an essential aspect of the universe. The phrase, "nothing stands still, everything moves, everything vibrates," summarizes the core of this principle, which suggests that everything in the cosmos is in constant movement and vibration. Let's explore this concept in detail. In physics, the principle of vibration is intrinsically linked to wave theory and quantum mechanics. It describes how particles and quantum fields are constantly vibrating. For example, light is made up of photons that move like waves and particles at the same time. The oscillations of these waves represent different frequencies of light, giving rise to the electromagnetic spectrum that ranges from radio waves to gamma rays. This principle also applies to subatomic particles, such as electrons, which exhibit wave behavior and can be described by wave functions. In music, vibration is the essence of sound creation. Each musical note corresponds to a specific frequency of vibration. Musical instruments generate sound when their strings, membranes, or air columns vibrate in resonance. The perception of sound by the human ear is the interpretation of variations in air pressure, which are the result of vibrations. In spirituality and philosophy, the principle of vibration is often associated with the idea that everything in the universe has a unique vibration and that these vibrations are interconnected. The belief is that our thoughts, emotions, and intentions also have specific vibrations, and that harmony between these vibrations is essential to achieving balance and spiritual peace. Many spiritual practices, such as meditation and the use of crystals, are based on manipulating vibrations to promote healing and well-being. In biology, vibration is observed in cells and organisms. Molecules within cells are constantly in motion and vibration, playing fundamental roles in biochemical and metabolic processes. Furthermore, living organisms, from microorganisms to humans, are composed of atoms that are in constant vibration, ensuring that life continues to function. The principle of vibration is a universal notion that describes how movement and vibration are present in all aspects of the universe, from physics to spirituality to biology. This deep understanding of the nature of the universe has influenced and continues to influence many disciplines and philosophies, helping to explain how the world around us is in constant flux and change. For the principle of polarity, everything is dual. Everything has poles. Everything has its opposite. Equal and unequal are the same thing. The principle of polarity is a concept that permeates a wide range of fields, from philosophy and spirituality to physics and psychology, and represents a fundamental understanding of the dualistic and contradictory nature of the universe. The statement, everything is dual, everything has poles, everything has its opposite, equal and unequal are the same thing, encapsulates the essence of this principle, which suggests that duality and opposition are intrinsic aspects of the world and that, in some way, they are interconnected. In philosophy, the principle of polarity reflects the idea that reality is composed of a constant interaction between complementary opposites. This is exemplified in the Chinese philosophy of yin and yang, where yin represents the feminine, the dark, the passive, and yang represents the masculine, the light, the active. Both principles are intrinsically linked, and the balance between them is essential for the harmony and functioning of the universe. In spirituality, the principle of polarity is related to the notion of duality between light and darkness, good and evil, positive and negative. Many spiritual traditions seek to find balance between these opposite poles, promoting the integration and transcendence of dualities to achieve enlightenment or inner peace. In physics, this principle manifests itself in the laws of electricity and magnetism. Electricity, for example, involves the polarity of positive and negative charges, and the attraction and repulsion between them are fundamental for the generation of electrical energy. Magnets also have north and south poles that attract each other, demonstrating the influence of polarity on the interaction of physical forces. In psychology, the polarity principle can be applied to understanding the duality of emotions and states of being. For example, joy and sadness are emotional opposites, but both are valid and interconnected human experiences. Understanding these polarities can lead to greater self-knowledge and emotional balance. The principle of polarity highlights the dualistic and contradictory nature of the universe, emphasizing that the interaction between opposites is fundamental to the functioning and harmony of the world. This profound understanding has influenced many areas of knowledge and spirituality and serves as a reminder that unity and harmony can be found in accepting and balancing the polarities that exist in our existence and in the world around us. 5. The principle of rhythm. Everything ebbs and flows. Everything has its tides. Everything goes up and down. The rhythm principle, also known as the wave principle, is a concept that describes the cyclical and oscillatory nature of many phenomena and processes in the universe. The statement "everything ebbs and flows, everything has its tides, everything rises and falls" encapsulates the idea that change and movement are an intrinsic part of our world and that they follow predictable rhythm patterns. This principle has applications in several areas of knowledge and life. In nature, the principle of rhythm is evident in ocean tides, where water rises and falls regularly due to the gravitational influence of the moon and sun. Furthermore, it is present in the seasons, where climate changes and the cycles of growth and decline of plants and animals follow predictable patterns. In physics, in terms of waves, light, sound, and other forms of energy travel in wave patterns with cycles of compression and rarefaction. Electromagnetic waves, like light, propagate through periodic oscillations that have specific frequencies and amplitudes. In spirituality and philosophy, the principle of rhythm is often associated with the notion of karma and reincarnation in some religious and philosophical traditions. The belief is that an individual's actions have consequences that return in cycles of life after life. In psychology, human psychology also recognizes the importance of rhythm in our lives. Emotions, for example, can fluctuate in cycles, coming and going. Additionally, circadian rhythms regulate sleep and wake cycles, affecting our daily activity patterns. In music and art, music is a classic example of the principle of rhythm, where notes and beats follow rhythmic and melodic patterns. Similarly, in visual art, the repetition of shapes and colors can create a sense of rhythm in a composition. The rhythm principle reminds us that change is constant and that many aspects of life follow cyclical patterns. This understanding can be applied to help us navigate life's vicissitudes, plan wisely, and accept that both ups and downs are natural parts of our journey. Observing and understanding these rhythms can help us make informed decisions and find balance and harmony in our journey. 6. The principle of cause and effect. Every cause has its effect. Every effect has its cause. The principle of cause and effect is a fundamental idea that permeates different areas of knowledge, from science to philosophy and spirituality. The statement "every cause has its effect, every effect has its cause" encapsulates the notion that every event or phenomenon in the universe is linked to a prior cause and, in turn, generates subsequent effects. Let's explore this principle and its applications in different domains in more depth. In science, the principle of cause and effect is one of the pillars of scientific methodology. Science seeks to identify the causes behind natural phenomena and predict the effects based on laws and theories. Causality is fundamental in understanding events in the universe, allowing scientists to make predictions and develop explanatory theories. In philosophy, causality has been a topic of study since ancient times. Philosophers like Aristotle explored the relationship between cause and effect in depth. The principle of cause and effect is also fundamental in ethics, where human actions are considered as causes that have moral consequences, effects. In spirituality and Eastern philosophies, many spiritual traditions and Eastern philosophies emphasize the principle of cause and effect in terms of karma. According to this belief, an individual's actions, good or bad, generate consequences that return to him in some way, whether in this life or in future reincarnations. In psychology also recognizes the principle of cause and effect in examining the roots and factors underlying human behavior. Psychological therapies often seek to identify the underlying causes of mental and emotional problems to effect positive changes. In the natural world, the principles of cause and effect are evident everywhere. For example, rain, cause, leads to plants growing, effect, or applying heat to water, cause, leads to evaporation, effect. This principle is also crucial in understanding natural processes and solving problems in engineering and technology. The principle of cause and effect is an essential basis for understanding the world around us. It highlights the interconnection between events and phenomena and the idea that nothing happens by chance. Understanding the causes behind effects helps us make informed decisions, predict outcomes, and understand how the universe works. It is a principle that permeates all areas of knowledge and has profound implications for our understanding of the world and our own existence. 7. The gender principle. Gender is in everything. Everything has its masculinity and femininity. The gender principle is a concept that, like other Hermetic principles, permeates different areas of knowledge, from philosophy to spirituality and psychology. The statement, "gender is in everything, everything has its masculinity and femininity," encapsulates the notion that, in all phenomena and aspects of life, there is a duality of gender, a polarity that includes both masculine and feminine aspects. Let's explore this principle and its applications in more depth. In philosophy and spirituality, the gender principle is related to the notion that the universe is a manifestation of gender duality, representing opposing and complementary forces. This can be observed in several spiritual traditions, such as yin and yang in Chinese philosophy, where yin represents the feminine, passive and receptive, and yang represents the masculine, active and expansive. The search for harmony and balance between these forces is seen as a spiritual path. In biology, we observe gender duality, since many species have different sexes. However, it is important to note that biology recognizes a significant diversity of reproductive systems and gender identities across the animal kingdom. In art and creativity, the gender principle can also be a source of inspiration for artistic and creative expression. Many artists explore gender duality in their works, seeking to represent the interaction and harmony between these opposing forces. The gender principle highlights the idea that gender duality is present in all aspects of life and the universe. He invites us to recognize and embrace this duality as a creative and transformative force. Understanding the interconnection between masculine and feminine aspects helps us seek balance, harmony and growth in our lives and in society in general, promoting a more inclusive and integrative view of the world. That's it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video and found the information useful. If you liked it, don't forget to leave a like and share with your friends. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and activate the bell to receive all updates. If you have any questions or suggestions for future videos, please leave a comment below. We look forward to hearing what you think. Thanks so much for watching and see you in the next video. See you soon. May the strength of Kabbalah stay with everyone.